Guys, Mauro from Design Syndrome here. Glad to see you again. This is the Design Dojo, a place where we aim to forget about a little bit trends and effects and all that stuff that really lives at the surface of design. And here we aim to go a little bit deeper and to really train and nurture the fundamentals that I believe that, if so, will really start to bleed out and really empower all of your areas of your creative life. So if you want to become a design ninja, you're at the right place. Welcome to a Design Dojo. What's good, my guys? Glad to see you again. Assignment 11, how to mix type. This is a really, it will be a really quick and easy, just to make a cool poster, a cool looking poster, you know what I mean? Just using typography. If you're new to the dojo, maybe you just found this place. This is supposed to function as a yearly structure of assignments in which we will tackle fundamentals, you know what I mean? The good stuff, hierarchy, typography, semiotics, communication in design, the core skills that I believe will make you fundamentally better regardless of the tool, regardless if it's AI or any one button bullshit, you know what I mean? We want to be graphic design practitioners, you know what I mean? So this is what this community is all about. If you want to join, it's completely free for all levels. If you're just starting out, there aren't that many places out there in which you can learn this stuff in this manner. So join, link below, everything free. And if you're already a seasoned designer, it's always good to revisit some of this stuff, you know what I mean? And to be a part of a community in which we are all uploading the assignments and giving feedback across each other, you know what I mean? And also during these live streams in which I explain the assignments a little bit more in depth. And yeah, it's just to have a good time, just learning to be a better designer, you know? So here we are. How you doing? Everything good, guys? So glad to see you again here. Let me pop up my chat here. Oh shit. All good, G. Surprised to see you here. Let's go. So glad to see you here again, my guys. So again, for anyone new, like, you can just jump in from the latest assignment. Let me just show you the Design Dojo just a little bit so you know what I mean. Once you join, you're gonna see the Discord server like this. And once you do the validation and everything, you verify yourself and everything, you're gonna see here on the Design Dojo, here are all the assignments. The latemost one will be pinned at the top. You can start from this beginning if you want, but I'd rather you just jump into the deep end, you know, and so you're in sync with the community. And also the dojo, I aim it to be a thing that's recurring, you know what I mean? So next year, we're gonna start again from the top. So how to mix fonts. And here we have some posters. Oh, we have a submission. Oh, this looks so good, bro. Amazing. Love this. Love it. And here we have the brief for the assignment. And also I uploaded here a free fonts guide. And we're gonna take a look at that as well in a little bit. But yeah, this is supposed to be an assignment for... We are coming out of the editorial piece, which I know that was a really hard one for a lot of y'all, but I'm thinking maybe next year we're going to do the order flipped. Maybe we do this assignment after the typographic sketch, because I think it's a bit better just to arm yourself with some typographies before we jump into the editorial, you know. But that's for next year. This year we already did the editorial. I did mine on Dostoevsky. You already saw that on my socials. I really love the result. And now, since that was a really hard one, this assignment is more to do something chill, something to post on your socials, you know what I mean? Something that a really showstopper piece, like the piece that you would like to be hired to do, you know, like a poster event or a nice graphical piece, but only with typography. Let me show you some examples of what I mean. Oh, I trimmed it. Bro, where's your hair? I trimmed it because it was a mess. Now I'm rocking this, you know, a bit more easily maintainable, you know. Here we are. So let me show you we are here. So here I gathered some references. These are just supposed to be triggers of what we aim to do now. The experimentation, we want to gear it more towards, the deliverables for this assignment are just a poster. You need to make a solid poster about an event, a tour for your favorite band, or whatever it is. The idea, it needs to be like a typographic piece. This is the one that I made actually for the Dojo, for this assignment, that one I posted yesterday. The key is have it be only typographical and just push those differences and push that composition to the max, to the limit, only using typography. We need to be really mindful of negative space, of how typographies play out of each other, and a couple of rules, not rules, but things to pay attention to, like and this is a way in which I like to think, in which I'm picking typographies, or what's a cool way in which you can create tension, inside the piece. And it's the same as we've been doing with the other assignments. If we start from the beginning, the stain, the composition sketch, all of those, it's all about tension, and tension, it's how you grab differences and pull it to the max, so you have really places in your composition that are really silent, and places on your composition that are really busy, so we have the big versus the small, we have the contrast from the dark with the light, so in typography it's kind of the same. We're trying to pull typographies that have contradicting features, so maybe this is a nice example. We have something that's really modern and really bold, paired with something that's more vintage and has a bit of a lighter aura, so that kind of pairs well. And again, guys, here we are going for maximal graphic impact, right? It's like we are just here we are not thinking this much now about the concept and the idea. We're just trying to make something that's dynamic and that's cool, right? The next layer for another assignment will be to actually make it make sense, that's adding another layer on top of it, right? Like, it makes sense that the poster has this contrast. That's another question right now, but right now what we're trying to focus is, let's just make it look cool, let's just have fun and create something that we would be proud that we call ours, So these are all examples in which you can see we have this. You can make that contrast be from the modern to the old, also with the bold, with the thin, with the something that has a much more of an organic shape, with something that looks more mechanical, You need to be pretty comfortable using negative space, but you see all these examples that I'm showing you can clearly see this contrast that I'm talking about. Something really condensed with something that's more traditional and has it's a lot more balanced, And pay attention on how the typography it's laid. It's laid in a way which it looks like a decision. It looks like it's meant to be in that position. It's not like an afterthought. Everything it's stabbed. It's stabbed in the composition, in the sense that it's placed there and it's clearly placed there. If it's gonna be centered, make it centered in relationship to other parts of your composition, not just put it in the middle and don't give it anything to anchor itself so it looks more centered. You know what I mean? If you're gonna overlay stuff, overlay the stuff. Make it clearly overlay on top of other typographic elements and have them be different. For example, we have this typography that has a really nice tracking, but it's really close together, but it has a negative space that's really balanced, right? And the typography on the back, it's also much more condensed, and the negative space inside it is much less. So you get this really nice contrast between the feeling of the both typographies. So that's kind of what we're going for. If you see the one that I did in mine, I'm gonna do a poster event now. I'm gonna just make it quick to show you how the process could look like, to sort of experiment and trying about. But for example, if you go to this piece, the font I pick for fonts, it has a really wide stroke, right? But it has a lot of negative space that's kind of balanced to what's used in the font's typeface, right? And that negative space, it's kind of matched to the positive space of the word mix. Can you see it? If you try to mentally flip the negative space from the font's typeface, you can see it's sort of matching the weight of the mix word, right? And then the negative space in the mix word, you see the space between the signs. It's similar to the positive space of the how to. You see, so we're trying to mix and match all this negative space so it looks rhythmic, so it has some kind of relation. And this I'm not doing like completely aware. It's not like, oh, I'm measuring. This is not mathematical or dogmatic in any sense. It's just a feeling that you get. And from what I could spot from the references that I've gathered, and that's the relationship that I could find that I was drawn to, you know. Maybe you look at this and it's not so interesting to you. Then go look at your references, what you deem that really catches your eye, and try to find, okay, what's the reference in these posters that I like? Try to find the thread, you know, what's the thread that ties this all together. In these ones, which is what I like to do the most and what I feel most drawn to, there is a certain balance in the negative space and how the typography is laid out on the canvas. You know, there is a certain relationship between big type and smaller type, and then a lot of negative space is something that I really like. It makes it look much more controlled. You know, the relationship between form and figure, it has a certain rhythm that I like, you know. So that's kind of what we're trying to go for my piece, you know what I mean? You can also grab these as references. And also, one thing that you could try to do, guys, is outright try to copy them. You know, try to copy them and then move stuff around so you get a feel for that sensibility, you know what I mean? It's not like copy, you know, but try to see, okay, what he did here. For example, for mine, I took a lot from this one, right? I didn't actively try to find the same typography. I don't think it's the same, but I looked at this once and I go, oh, okay, I condensed kind of font like that, you know, and here it is. It's kind of similar, but the weight and all of that, it's not like I went back and forth, I'm gonna make it the same. I just look at this once and it stuck with me, and okay, I'm gonna do something around that feeling, right? You see, but there is a certain relationship between the shapes and the negative space. That's what you need to sort of capture for a nice typographic lockup, you know. There is another thing that I could show you that I completely forgot I had. Okay, first, you might don't have a lot of typographies. You're gonna need, because a nice typographic layout, it lives and dies on how good your typographies are, you know. And here I made a list of spots you can grab free typographies from, completely legit, so no viruses or fun stuff, you know. You can have the link for this below. It's on my website also, and it's on the assignment brief on the Dojo. And these are all foundries and spots you can get some really nice types. You need to get in there and see what's the gist. Some of them you have to subscribe to the newsletter to get the fonts. You know, here you have a nice selection of fonts. You can straight download, for example, in this one, right? Here also you have some in these like sites that have a lot more fonts to pick from. You might have to scour a little bit more, and it's easy to get some fonts that are really not that good. So try to go for foundries and those kind of places, which are a lot more curated. Let me see if I can find, for example, this row type has some really good ones. Right, for this one you need to subscribe, for example. This is not an ad, guys, like I have no partnership with these guys. I'm just trying to show you some places you can get some quality fonts to use, you know what I mean? We need to see your process. Yeah. So yeah, let's see some more. Ask me any questions, guys, if you want. But we're trying to go to see if we can balance. I guess the difficulty on this assignment is how well can you balance the different morphologies of different typefaces, you know, that might be not so straightforward from the beginning. But what's really cool about all of these ones is that you could see that they live together pretty well. You know, the classic rule that the teachers used to give us on uni is like, don't mix more than two fonts. And again, that's okay for balance and for legibility, but I mean, you don't need to make something as crazy as this. I want you to make something that's clean, you know, like the purpose of this assignment is to try to condensate all that we did in all previous assignments and see if we can just nail it, you know, like a nice typographic composition, solid typographic composition, right? For example, I seen this and I think I'm vibrating with something like this that I want to make, but not like this, you know. I want to capture the feeling and the idea and the composition for this, but not precisely copying it, right? It's like kind of stealing it. Would you prefer us to go maximalist or keep things simple? Both are really hard to do right. You know, it's not so simple. Like this could be minimal, maximalist, whatever. This is kind of in the middle, but this is hard to do. You know, like, and also pay attention to all the little details, like the dates here, like see what you can come up to, right? Like do an event poster or a book release, or I don't know, a film festival lineup, or I don't know, an album back cover with all the titles and whatnot. For you can do also something like this that's more minimalist, but again, this needs to be really clean, right? This needs to be the hierarchies need to be dialed in for this to work. You know, there's a certain modularity to this piece also. It has a grid, right? If you want to use a grid, you can use it. For this, I would want to try something a little bit more freeform and sort of eyeball it. But that's that we want to manage for this. And also, you can try to do something with like this, which it's much more about managing the weights of the different typefaces rather than using typefaces that are a lot different, right? And this looks really good, and it's not so easy to do. Like, you know what I mean? The balance between all of the weights need to be really clean, right? So I really like this Doechi one. You can also do like a title lockup screen for a movie or whatever it is, right? You're gonna need to think about what to put on there. But this is similar to the assignment we did of the editorial, right? Because you're gonna need to, you need to get to thinking all the information you need, right? Maybe for something like this, you need to think about some tagline for the event, or who was the producer for the film, and try to find maybe the information on the building block to have more information to design. You know, that's also a key. All these assignments also are really good, so you don't get that when you are missing information to put on the poster that's not significant. These exercises are good because you are encouraged to think what makes sense to be on the poster, right? And sometimes if the poster doesn't call for a lot of information, then that's the poster, and you need to make with that. You know, this goes for the future, right? Like, what is it that I want to make, and what information makes sense to be on the poster? You know, I get this question a lot from a lot of you guys, that I don't know what to put in the poster. And if you don't know what to put in the poster, it's because you don't have something to make that you want to say, right? First, you need to think, what do I want to say? And from that, the poster will arise. And it can be, this is going a bit off track, but this is a typographic poster, right? So the assignment is to make it about an event or something like that you would like to have in your city, or that you would like to attend to, or that you would like to design for in the future. Sometimes posters, you want to capture a specific feeling that you have, and maybe the poster, it's all morphological, it doesn't have text, right? And maybe the text you use supports that emotion. It's not like, I want to make an edgy poster and I say something, I don't know, like I could do in the day, like something like stare into the abyss, because I was being very literal with a phrase that I wrote in a book, and a phrase that I ended up using for a poster, right? But maybe it's about, what's the feeling and what supports that feeling, like morphologically and also with type, right? And doesn't become that literal, right? We were talking before on the Discord, like somebody was asking, because they were getting issues like knowing what to put in the poster, and sometimes it's like start playing with typography, with some images, morphology, and at some point something will start to happen, and then maybe it changes the way, it changes rhythm, and it changes into something else. It morphs, you know, it gains a life on its own. Yo, that post was so funny. This guy was on AAA News episode 3. Let's go. The famous YouTuber. That's so funny. I cried so hard, bro. Yo, so glad to have the goat here. So, back to the assignment. I hope you know what I mean, guys. Right? We're not trying to be super pretentious with this assignment. Right? The previous assignment was far harder to do and far more. You needed to think about it and care. So you was able to come up with all the different hierarchy levels. This is much more. Let's just do something crazy to say I did that shit, you know, so like a nice typographic poster. That's what we aim to do. Even something like this. All these on screen are sick. No. These are not from students, Jack. I wish they were from students. But these are all really advanced. You know, this is really hard to do. If these were from my design ninjas, I would open up a school. Like if these guys were able to do this out of what they learned. But yeah, I guess. But the previous assignments were really time consuming, and we didn't have that many uploads. But we had a few that were really, really good. But yeah, this is just inspiration for this specific one. Still recovering from last assignment. Yeah, last one was really hard. But I think, yeah, I need to think about next year when I redo the assignment order. I need to think about it better because that's a hard one. But it's a needed one. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how many of you guys like any time had the opportunity to do like an advanced editorial system. It's not common to do something like that, but it teaches you a lot about systematizing your design decisions so it can be replicable and so you can make it replicable across the span of maybe not an entire book publication, but maybe across the span of 13, 15, 20 pieces that you need to do for a client, right? God forbid you end up doing like a big event. You're gonna need to be able to think about this kind of stuff. And sometimes when you are self-taught, you don't get the opportunity. My train is going through a tunnel, so I'll lose Wi-Fi now. Bye-bye, my guy. Thanks for stopping by. If you open up a school, I'm selling my house. I opened the school, bro. This is the school. But I mean, I don't want to call it a school because it's not like me teaching you, you know what I mean? It's like we are all learning together from these like triggers to do something, and we are all learning together. It's not like me imparting knowledge over you. I'm just showing you what I do and how I do it, and it may spark something in you that will lead you to the way you do things. You know, that's also key that my teachers also told me. It's not like we're all learning. Like I'm also learning from watching you because I can see where the assignments maybe they are not being understood, and maybe you understand the assignment in a certain way that makes me, oh, that's actually better than what I thought, you know? But yeah, the dojo at the end is just a place where we can be together, like practicing this, not thinking about algorithm and all the stuff. We just want to be better at this, you know? Not even be better. We just want to do some crazy posters, you know what I mean? But looking at this, you sort of get... There is something about when looking at references that it's easier to get too caught up in this, you know? The way that I like to do it, I never look at references like this. I always like scroll through references and try to... I got the feeling that's that. I only gather references to show clients, for example, or when we need to do this, but for myself, I wouldn't like start to analyze them that much, right? I would just scan them, get the feeling, and then go on to do whatever, right? I mean, look at them, pay attention to them, and try to capture that idea or whatever feeling that you think you're getting from them in terms of the space, how they are using the spacing. Look at this. Like you could take a snapshot of this mentally, click it, and then try to go not something like this, but you know what I mean, to capture the the relationship between the typography and the negative space, and try to do something similar, you know, or that feels kind of similar, right? This I really like, you know, but this looks really simple, but it's not so simple to make. There was another board that I wanted to show you. All right. Oh damn. In Arena, it's open my Arena, yes. Oh, we have the movie poster coming up soon. Oh no, where was it? Oh, I shared it in the Discord. Wait. I didn't save it? No way. Oh yeah. No, wait. I think it's on here. There. Here, let me look for. This. Look at this. Look at this, guys. It's actually crazy. These are all, what's the board called? Like the 80s, New York Times 80s layout studies. Like this is from the newspaper on the 80s on New York, the New York Times. Like this is dialed in, bro. Woo! Bro, the editorial on the newspaper was cooking. Like this looks super effortless, you know what I mean? But it's dialed in, guys. Like this is not easy to do. I mean, it's easy to do for the one that did it, maybe, but to arrive at the sensibility that you need to sort of lay that type and just lay it like this, you need to do a lot of it, you know, to sort of fine tune the way you spot that relationship between the how thick something is, you know, versus the negative space. This one is not so tight, you know. Ooh, come on! But you see, there is a certain like continuity between this and this. You see what I mean? Here. See, while comparing the two, there is a certain here, for example, right? Good type is good type. You know, there is a certain continuity into the way typography arranges itself across decades, you know, that is just pleasing to the eyes. You know, there is a certain relationship that you need to figure it out, right? But by laying a lot of type, right? And from there we can sort of start to make stuff that's a bit different, right? That sort of breaks us out of that mold, and that maybe it's telling us something about our current stage as a society. What does it mean, you know, that we went from typography that's really legible, that's organized in a really symmetrical and clear way with a lot of air, right? Something that it's kind of it's easy on the eyes, you know, and we went to something a lot more like this, You know, what does it mean? What does it mean to have moved? Right? What does it mean that we write like this now? Everything's compressed, on the border of not being legible. You know? So whatever feeling you think calls you the most regarding type, try to go for that. You know what I mean? And then maybe it can be more designed. You know what I mean? Designed in the sense like, I don't know, like I was watching this Argentine like movie director that she was saying something that I really agree on, which is like with the art we made in the around the 2000s is the art that ended up like shaping the world, you know. And even before that, 1984, Brave New World, you know, all those books then led to all those animes and then the Matrix, and it ended up becoming like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right, of the way we thought about the future, right? It ended up becoming in a way because it was the references that we got, right? So what does that have to do with type? What I mean is this, like you could see it in the typography how it was set before. The feeling, it was much more of like subtle, and it had a lot more air to it, right? And maybe that's the point in which I mean we could design it a bit more, like what would it want this to feel in the future, right? What are the feelings we want to get out of art and out of what we do, rather than, I guess it's a different process, you know. Like one, it's I'm making art about how I feel, and the other one is I want to make art that makes me feel a certain way, or that makes others feel a certain way, right? Like if I feel like shit and I make art that makes others feel like shit, I don't know. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying like it's interesting. Like when you look back, we have the society that we predicted on the films. Maybe we start to make stuff that feels different to what we feel, you know? Come on, bro. Oh, shit. That's clean, bro. What the hell? That's good type. You know? It's just clean. Even this. You know, there is a certain... of course, there is a grid here, and they're using some sort of... But this, you know, the relationship between the negative space and even the typography on the top, like this is super clean. Like, what is this type even? What is this type? I'm gonna steal it. Image trace. Custom. It's mine now. Nah. Even like that, even like that, it looks so good. Yeah. But see, even if I grab this and maybe I ungroup it and start messing with the interline and everything, with the tracking, for example, let's make it really... you see, I broke it completely. It was perfectly laid out before, right? And this is all optical, because you can see here the I is not in the middle of these two letters. This would be the middle, but it doesn't look the same in the middle. You see? If the alignment is absolute, it doesn't look as good as like there, right? And there is not in the middle, but this white space is balanced. Shout out to Krisha. Shout out. Shout out to Krisha. Okay, I'm gonna keep this, but let's see what's this type, because here we have the P, okay, the K. What would be the B? Like, that's the B. Okay. But you know what I mean, guys? It's like we're trying to spot those and see where everything falls. Right. Let me put this. Let me put this board also on the. Look at this. That is so hard. Like, I'm so pissed right now. Come on. This is clean, guys. This. Top. 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 I don't know why I like this so much. But you see what I see, guys? Or am I completely cooked? Like my typographic my typographic cake, my typographic taste is cooked, or is this actually fire? Ooh. See what I mean? Like, this is on some other type shit. Really good. So okay. We're getting sidetracked. Let me grab this and I'm gonna put it on the. I'm gonna put this also here. I'm gonna. Let me. Okay, it's there. And oh, you wanted also the arena board, right? Sorry, this board. I'm gonna share it and publish to community. Oh, okay, I'm gonna publish this later to the community once we do some of the feedback. Yeah. Also, these references are also all on the brief, my guys. You know. Yeah, I really like Arena to see inspiration for typography, but also look at inspiration, but don't look at too much inspiration. You know what I mean? Because like I already got a lot from watching this, right? But I really like Arena for typography. This is really beautiful. Okay. Like it. Look at this. Ooh, bro. I'm saving this. I'm saving this to references, to our references. There are some really cool stuff in Arena. Okay. Internet Archive, but Internet Archive you need to scour it a little bit more. You know what I mean? But the Internet Archive, it's really good. So yeah. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Something that you would like to talk about also. Hmm. Okay, let's just start playing a little bit. Let me put some music. Let me pump up the volume a little bit. I'm just gonna. Let me know if it's too loud or anything. There. So for this, I'm just gonna do like a mock-up of a made-up 2000s alternative rock festival in my city, Buenos Aires. So I'm just gonna do something like if it was for that, right? I'm just gonna vibe with it. I'm not gonna go too heavy. I'm just going to try to arrange some information. It's called Resonar. Resonar. Resonar Fest. Right here already we have 3 typographies that I think work really well together. You know, and here you can start experiment and see like we like that. I hate it when I lose a typography that I liked because I don't know why it's not working when I go the other way around. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. I like this type. I'm gonna leave it for later. Wait. This one's so good. You know, but with these ones we get a similar feel to what we were getting on the New York Times. You know, but for this you need to use quality typographies. I have a lot of ones from Type 1 because I'm ambassador for them. Oh, this one's also really good. You have a link for the Type 1. I'm gonna leave it on my in the description. But those are expensive typographies, but they are really good. Eurosign, I really love this type. You know, start. This one's also beautiful. You know, but even if we wanted to start, let's say with something like this, we could do So you see, like, I'm just going for contrast in the different fonts, you know, so something really maybe vintage looking with something more modern, serif with the sans serif, but they also need to clash in the weight, you know, so something really thin to something really a bit more chunky. But let's do another adjustment that I think will look cool. Yeah, looks good. But for example, do you see the Resonar typeface? Right now it has too much air compared to the negative space of the festival. But let's see what happens if first I can bring in and adjust the tracking to make it a bit more tight. Right, I like for example, there the R, the serif on the A and the R, like now it's fused. So I like that. Right, and also another thing you can do is, like, if the typography doesn't have, this one has like regular, italic, right? It has different weights, but maybe I like the light, but I want just a little bit more width to it, so I can add a stroke, you know, add a little stroke, and I try to match so it gets closer to that negative space we have on the festival, right? So maybe 4 points. And I like to give it the outline and give it a corner so it's rounded, because the type is so wide that you don't see it, right? And let's grab the Linkin Park and so it gets the same treatment. And again, we need to change this again, the leading. So what was this? And this is, oh, it's so big. Let's make it 625. Tracking, let's make it 650. Okay, let's make it less. Like that. Put in the middle. Linkin Park, what were the other bands that I had? Okay. You see, even in this, there is something that's already working, you know? And it's a couple of type decisions. It's a couple of typographic decisions, right? There is a certain, like, you see, if we go for something that's more aggressive in the contrast between the band and the festival and the bands, you know that there is something that doesn't look quite right. But what happens if I give it more stroke so it matches the width on the sonar, you know? Now it looks a bit better, you know? So sometimes you try to, maybe if I keep the same typography but I make it smaller, sometimes the stroke becomes too thin and it loses that relationship with the bigger font, right? So that's something that optically sometimes helps if we like make it match a bit better, you know, the gray of text. When you zoom out your eyes, you sort of see where the imbalance is, right? Maybe for the bands, the tracking needs to be a little less. So maybe it needs to be a bit more far apart. Again, to balance out the negative space inside the font for the bands, to match something similar to what we have on the title, right? Let's try with regular. I actually like more the light with the the stroke, right? So that looks cool for me, right? And we can maybe there start adding the time. (23, 24), like the time, right? So it's actually, for this, let's use Helvetica or something like this. Oh no, these types, the Sonar one. This one. Okay, and now it's because I'm in how do you say? Now I'm in Illustrator, but I could. Let's open this here. Right, and let's just, I'm gonna use like the trace paper action, but just to create a composition. Let's a texture. Get rid of this because I want only one. Style, let's change this to something like that. That's perfect. Now let's duplicate this. And here, let's get rid of that. Grab the time. Wait, the morph is not changing color, bro. Let me grab. Then once everything is set, you can start to play a little bit more. I want to keep maybe everything in one layer, so maybe I'll play around more with the placement of the elements, right? So typographic goat, greetings. Let's go, Gio. Let me know if you have more questions, guys, or anything. Okay, we can keep the only one. Smaller. Oh, Jack looks good. This font is from Doron. I really like it. And you see it contrasts really well because it's like something really modern with something that's more vintage. Right, and it actually pairs well also for the idea of the poster because it's like not vintage bands, you know, they are not vintage, right? But they are not, you know what I mean, you know, they are like more from the 2000s. They're still pretty vigent right now, but it's more catered to that like nostalgia feeling, you know, more nostalgic feeling, yeah, but more a bit more elevated. Right, right, this typeface, like tracking. Maybe this a bit smaller still because I really liked how it looked when the type was really predominant, you know. Like in here I'm just playing with the layout because I'm gonna play more with this in the, maybe this could be more like this. Yeah, that looks a bit better, right? When it's all together. I like some disclaimer, little disclaimer. I actually feel like got a lot of inspiration from those posters we saw from the New York Times. Oh shit. Yeah. Bold, it's too much. I like adding the stroke, bro. Oh, I think we need to change the Sonar, because Sonar it's already a well-known festival. So I think we need to change it a little bit. Maybe it's more like this. And I also wanted to try the Doron font here. Maybe here festival it's Jack. Ooh, that's so good. But it should be Fest. Sonar Fest. And we should add the re from resonar. Maybe this goes like this. That I like. And to this, I would like to change it a little bit. I'm gonna But you see, guys, like this looks already pretty clean, you know? I like this. there I made this, the Apple Garamond font. I made it like tighter, like reduced the tracking, so the weight of the typography matches the one of the bulkier one next to it. Let's try this one. What do you think, guys? It looks good, right? It looks good, right? Looks good. Look at that. Get rid of this little shadow here. A bit literal, but I like it. Do you see what I mean, guys? it just works, you know? It just works. And it's a couple, I did it in what? And how much time did I do this? You know, it's just a couple of decisions that need to make some sort of morphological sense in terms of composition, and you have a solid starting base for anything you want to do, right? But it starts there, like hierarchy. Wait, you know. Once that's clear, you can start playing. This looks cool. This looks all right, you know. But it's a starting point for something, you know. It's pretty clean. Right? So this is one poster. It has no venue, I just realized. Okay. It's Buenos Aires. I'm watching this in my graphic design class. Let's go, bro. This is another typography that I like. It's very similar to Doron's one, but I like this one. It's a bit longer, so I'm gonna be really aggressive here and just make it more long, you know. Squish this. No, it doesn't look as good. There is something here that I'm not loving, guys, but let's see what we can do to make it work. Because I don't like to put the re sonar like re in a bigger font, because it's already redundant, you know what I mean? Like re, it's already like big, so I don't like the idea of making the loud part of the word louder graphically, you know, because this is all in Spanish, you know. Resonar is like I don't know, like super sound or something like that. Hard. Yeah. Oh. That has a nice flow to it, you know, like the font, it matches the weight of the other one, so it's kind of drawing up on top of it, you know. That looks so clean, bro. And like that. Woo! 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 When typography hits, you can feel it. It's like woo! You get like a chill, you know. Woo! That's clean, bro. This, let's create an outline and let's move this around. It's also useful, like always get away from the poster, get away and come back in, like to gauge the scale a little bit better. Yo, but I love this typographic arrangement, guys. Like, don't let me lie, you know what I mean? And another thing that I wanted to tweak about this is I don't like the space. If you press Alt and the arrow keys, you can change the spacing in the letters themselves, you know, to fix the specific tracking of a letter you want. So I felt the N was too separated from the O, so I want to bring it in a little bit. That's a bit tighter. You know what I mean? And this is all typography, guys. Like no graphics, no nothing. Like this just works, you know? Design ninjas entran gratis, bro. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. It's my zoomies. My zoomies are kicking in, bro. Oh, it doesn't, right? It doesn't matter. I think it's better with this on top. Also, we could. Ooh, that's far more clean. Oh shit. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. I'm just vibing right now. This is just in the fun stage, you know what I mean? Actually, let's keep no graphics in the mix. Let's just I have to take that out, guys. What a crazy talent thing, my guy. Not talent, it's just practice, bro. Like, not even practice. Like, I've been doing this for so long that it's like I'm not even trying that hard. It's not. I know I don't want to be that guy, but and you know what's actually funny, guys? Like, I believe my work improved so much since we started the dojo. Like, since the first dojo we did a couple years ago, my work was kind of in a stalemate. You know, I wasn't getting better. I was actually getting kind of worse. I'll do a video about it because it's really interesting. And the dojo helped me a lot because this is new that I already knew because I studied it, you know, in uni. But at some point I stopped trying. At some point I started to go for the low-hanging fruit, you know what I mean? Like the texture, and getting too much caught up on the effects itself, you know, and trying to making work that's supposed to look a certain way but wasn't about nothing in particular, you know, other than maybe the underlying ideas that I wanted to communicate. But it wasn't like cool work, you know. I wasn't letting myself play in a constructive way, right? And when we started to do the dojo and these pieces start to come around, you know, no, let's try to make like an event poster for something that I would like to go. I wasn't thinking about designing those terms. And once you start to sort of tap into that and you let yourself play and to try in a much more playful way, which it's oriented by an idea instead of just the masturbatory thing of I just want to make something that looks kind of cool, you know. And the dojo and having it be something for you guys to learn and everything, it made me try again. You know, I guess before I was saying like I'm not even trying, but it's right now I'm tapped in, you know what I mean. But if you go to my work, like even 3 years back, it's completely different. I can see it, you know, I can see it as completely different. My work now it's far better than it used to be, but it has to do with that, you know, tapping into certain, just trying, you know, really trying. Yeah, I think this is good. Like this is good, you know. Like how do you know when you're done? You just look at it and you think you can feel it's done, you know. It's done. I could keep playing with it, but it feels correct. It feels like it's done, you know. And if this is good, you know, textures, you know, like let me put it here. What do you know, bro? Like that's it. That's a wrap, you know. That works. And I could change the image. This works, guys. You know, I could even maybe drop a gradient map here. Let's try. That it's kind of working right now. The dojo, it's every year. It's every year, bro. Like I'm committing to this. Like, yeah. Next year it starts all over again. As an only Photoshop user for now, why are we using Illustrator here? Because it's easier because here I'm trying to lock down the composition, you know, I'm just trying to play with typography and adjust that, and for that Illustrator it's better than Photoshop, you know, it's more streamlined for this. Yeah. I could have made this also in Illustrator, but I like it better, and sorry, in Photoshop, but I like it better here, you know. Okay, here I already went overboard. Like you shouldn't use images. I'm just like right now I'm just playing, you know, like, and it should be black and white, but you know, fuck me, you know. Just like chess, the most you practice, the better you get at it. Yeah. But these guys, I am super. Say I make the text comp in Illustrator. Can I bring that over to Photoshop as like a group of individual text layers instead of one smart object? I think you can, but I don't know how. I think you can do that, actually. I just don't know how. I think you can, if you have this only sheet like of like the only artboard, I think you can drop in the Illustrator file, but don't quote me on that. I think I never done it. I think I work on them in the most backwards way, but it's the way that I managed to work all these years, you know. Ooh, this one, it's kind of hard if I do it like this. This is the this is sorry guys, this is the my trace paper template. If you want to support the channel, you can grab it from my store. It's the way I used to make that sort of trace paper sort of effect, you know. If I put it in multiply, it's the way I make this trace paper effect. If you want to grab this to support the channel, I will make it a tutorial soon. I've just been doing a lot of client work, but I will drop a tutorial on this. But if you want to support the channel, you can grab it on the store. You have the link for it. It's really good. And it's super fun because you can make a lot of stuff with it. You see here I've used it to create a composition, but I'm not using it as a trace paper. I'm just using it to set up the way I texture my file. You see I have this mask with this texture, and if I enter the mask, I can sort of give it more or less texture. And I want to show you one more thing that you can do that's really crazy. If I enter this style, the style, how do you say, the style group, and I go to one of the trace paper ones, there is one that it's the blend mask texture swapper. If I press OK, it's gonna prompt me to now select the texture. So here you can grab any texture. I'm just gonna use one from my texture pack. You can also grab that from my store. Paper cut, bro, this texture pack is the only one you're gonna need. So if you want to support the channel by getting something really cool, there is also a free version of this. All my free graphic packs you can also get from my store, but wanted to show you something that's really cool about this pack that I really love. For example, I'm gonna grab this texture now. Now it's gonna ask me to resize it, so I'm gonna put it over here. And now it's gonna ask me to change the values here. See, you can do some crazy shit. I'm gonna leave it in the middle because I wanna have more control. Right, but now I'm gonna select the mask, and I'm gonna do with the levels. And if with the levels I make it really aggressive, you see, let's put it on white. So put it on white, and actually let's get rid of the background, do black. Now if I go again, there it is. And You can even change the layer styles. It comes with a bunch of layer styles for the tracing paper effect, but they work really good to apply texture using the same layer setup, but getting rid of the paper layer, you know. Sharp, bleed. What does displacement map? The textures on the trace paper? Yeah, for sure. You can use them as displacement map. I don't use displacement maps that often. I don't really like to use displacement maps. I rather just mess up the type by myself, like a man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that looks alright. Wanted to just. I think this is a little bit not in the right spot. Just a little bit down. That's better. And the left tones. There. Yeah. Older versions. What do you mean? Like in the product page, you can see the latest version that it works in, and you can check it out. Yeah, this looks amazing. I want to try to use a gradient, you know, like something. Oof. That's great also. Come on, guys. You need to close the stadium. But I mean, you saw what I did. It's not that hard. You arguably, any one of you can make this. There is nothing technical here in the sense of like using the software or whatever, you know. Even this piece as it is here, it works well. You know, then when you add the color and everything. But arguably any of you can create this composition. It's just a matter of putting text next to smaller text next to smaller text, you know what I mean? It's not nothing crazy. That looks so good. Yeah, I know. Bro, you have like 40 years of experience. Bro, stop soft calling me Ank. You all are on this shit on the Discord, like I'm sick of it. Like stop calling me Unk in a in a sleight of hand way. Bro, stop calling me Unk. I guess I'm Unk. I guess. I mean, at some point you just gotta own it, you know what I mean? That works. That kind of works, not gonna lie. Let's save this so I don't lose this, bro. Because it will happen again, you know? It will happen again. Just saved it. This is clean, bro. Let's add some graphics, you know? Just to see how it looks like, because projects, design syndrome, design assets, Necronomicon. I'm working on the version 2 of the Necronomicon. And I really like it. Has all this kind of stuff. What happens if I put it like here? Pablo, let's go. Glad to have you here, bro. I'm just playing. Now the ornaments, I don't know if they have a lot to do with this, but oh, this one I really wanted to do. Actually, for this, I think we need to make another layer here. And this graphic, I'm gonna drop it here and get rid of this. And this graphic, I'm gonna change the color and make it like white. Or, I don't know, a blue? Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm also making the micrographics pack. But you see, guys, like with the trace paper, like I can just like everything, it's already like kind of done, you know, in terms of the aesthetic. Sorry, the layer setup. Bro, I'm so happy with this. Like I did this, you know? Like I was low-key panicking before the stream because I was so tired. I was like, I'm gonna fumble so bad live, but let's get it, you know? But I'm actually really like this. Yeah, actually, in that sort of dissected, it's like a dissected deer, baby deer, like a mummified baby deer, which kind of makes sense for the aesthetic. You know, there is this idea of old, calcified, mummified, old thing. You know. Yeah, I'm playing with it. It's not final. I'm just saying what works. I like this contrast, bro. I like this contrast. But this works as well, bro. Don't let me lie. See black background. Let's try a few. Let's try I don't know, bro. I think I like this one. This one, it's goated for me. You know? But there is something about the color. I want to make something kind of punchy, kind of... The gray, it's really good. But we kind of lose the Linkin Park, bro. We kind of lose the bands, and I'm not sure, bro. Like this. I don't know. I like it, but I think, like, thinking as a designer, like, I would need the Linkin Park to be far more readable, you know, like readable. Like, aesthetically, I think this is perfect. I like it, I love it, but I would love the Linkin Park to have a little bit more weight, you know. Like, this is better, but I really like with the gradient, you know. I think it has that vibe I want, right? I'm gonna save this just as a... Wait. Whoa. Environment also. That's another thing. I'm using gradient maps to sort of recolor it on top, like a sort of a filter. Ay, guys. Circular. Let's see the other gradients. Come on! Yo, this is cooked. But also there is... It creates like a interesting operation in the poster, right? Like, I don't know, it looks powerful, you know? You know, but that's what I mean also about... This looks also like it's being dragged to hell, you know? But there is something here. I can't necessarily explain what it is, but it looks powerful, you know? And I guess this is the classic, you know, follow your intuition. Let's put it there in the middle. I guess people say it a lot, you know? But it means kind of like that. Like, I can't specifically say why this looks good, you know. I mean, there is a thing there with the classic operations, you know, separating stuff in the middle, dividing, enlarging, you know. So there is something there, but this looks fire, and we found it by just fucking around, you know. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. Well, this is it, and it fixes my issue with making Linkin Park more visible. I don't know. Everything looks so good, bro. Ay. That looks cool, but I think this is the one. What do you think, guys? I think this is the one, right? Let me change the camera to... I think this is kind of it, bro. This looks fire also. Sheesh. I don't know what's the final one. This is also good. Shit. I mean, the design is good. That's what's happening. I think if we made it gold, kind of ochre, like that. Like, simpler. I like it. I like when it's simpler, you know. save this. Let's save this one as well. Right, and you could even make a little, like, let's get rid of the bands, for example, here. And for this option, let's take this all the way to the bottom. Maybe we grab this over here. We get rid of this one here below. And let's say it like that. I think this is good. Maybe I need to bump the, be a little bit more lighter here. But you're gonna like that contrast, bro. Fuck. Stretch it a little bit. Now it's just a matter of fine-tuning the color. But you know, guys, like, we arrive at this stage, and now it's kind of hard, you know, to pinpoint the specific like contrast that we need, you know, so it looks good. Like, this looks good in my opinion, but I wouldn't ship this to a client. Like, as a concept, I would post it, you know. I love it, you know, and I think it's good, but I don't think it particularly works for the street, you know, for being on the street and actually functioning as an event poster. You know, I need a little bit more contrast to have the main band like showing at least. This is good also. Yeah, but I think it's well enough there. Oh, the real. I think this is more around what we should be doing. Something like this looks a bit better. And also I like there is a certain idea here about the thing dying, you know, because it's sitting kind of on the threshold of the gradient, which kind of mixes in the middle of the shape. So there is a certain like it looks evocative in a way that looks correct, that feels correct, you know, like it's popping out of the ground, you know, like it's resurfacing, like these bands that are getting popular again. So there is an idea that I like in the poster, that it looks, that feels correct. Oh, I like this blue because it looks good. I mean, it's complementary of the orange, so it looks good. Here, if we go for a red one, I can't be like fighting with this color this much time, you know. But I just want it to be perfect now because I fucking love this poster. That works. It's a matter of changing the gradient. Let me make a duplicate. I think it was low-key perfect. Oh damn. It was perfect. I think that works, guys. What do you feel like? Like this, that color a bit more, the contrast. I'm not completely sold on the final contrast of the typography because I like it on this bottom part, which is a bit lower contrast, but it looks more like more elegant in a way. I think that's the color, bro. I think that's the color. And I don't know. I like the higher opaque white. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like completely the contrast in this top part. Also would like to add like a little bit of a lip, you know, so it looks like it has like a little bit of how do you say, like a little bit of like a texture on top of it, you know, so like a bevel, you know. So I will do that with a drop shadow. I'm gonna add a drop shadow, but this drop shadow layer knocks up, yeah, let's make it let's make it white, let's make it 100% opacity. And why I'm not seeing it, why I'm not seeing the shadow, because of this there. And this shadow, let's knock out, okay, this is not knocking out, let's put it on top, make it really close, no size, a bit more distance. and really smooth. You see, it gave us like a little bit of a lip. You see? Can you feel it? It had to be really subtle. You need to feel it. Just feel it. If I make it a bit more, like that, and I give the drop off, no, like that, linear, no, like that. There, you see that it gave it a little bit of a lip, of something that feels like, that has a little bit of a bevel, you know, like a rim light. Yeah. Broad's using the correct terminology, you know, like a little bit of a rim light. Yeah. But I carved the shadow. I made it so it functions in that way that I want. Yeah, I'm gonna show you in the next tutorial. I'm gonna show you how I do, because all the effect of the trace paper is done with shadows. But I'm gonna show you how I do that, because I use a lot of shadows to create it, and it looks so good. Actually, I need to get rid of this shadow right now, because I can see it has the drop shadow, and I don't want this for here. What the hell is that drop shadow, bro? Oh, it's this. But I wanted to knock out. Oh, it's not knocking out because I know. Distance. Get a 3. Right there. Like that. And I could give it also an inner shadow to make the inner bevel. Ooh! No, if I give it an inner shadow, look at that. If I give it an inner shadow that comes the other end of the... You see, the inner shadow is coming from the opposite side where the highlight I created. So look how it looks when I give it. It gives it that pop, you know? Let's look how it looks from the outside. Bro, what the fuck? You see, it's just a little detail. It's just a little detail. And it gives it that much more depth. If I make it really aggressive. Oof. What the hell? What the hell? What the hilly vanilli? What the helly bonkers? I need to get off. I need to be off Instagram, you know? It's all in the details, bro. It's all in the details. What happens if I give it a color burn? That's more fire, I guess. Do we like it, guys? Or it's better when it's more like just graphic, you know, like without all those effects? Like, I feel this makes the text pop a little bit more. But is it better? Is it actually better? How did you put the texture only on the text? Is there a tutorial for that? That's my trace paper template and action pack. I'm making a tutorial for it to show you, because it's really complex. It's really complex to do, but it will teach you a lot, you know, of how, because this texture I made it. It's a bunch of groups with layer styles, and it has a mask in both groups, you know. That's how I made it. So it looks like this. It's not just a texture. Let's bring it down too, so it's more subtle. I think there we are. And now, since it's a bit more separated, we can... I think that works. This is better, guys, you feel like? I think, I don't know, I think the contrast it's cleaner in this way. Maybe I can make it a bit less, like, let's give it like 30. And this one, let's make it 40. Yeah, I like that better. It's a bit more elegant. Yeah, it helps with the legibility, that's fair. I think we got it. We got it, boys. Sang him and bang him. Ooh, over. Look how it looks over a black background. Let's not touch it. Let's leave it like this. Like that. And what was the other one? This was the other one. But for this one, let's get rid of the effects. And let's make the text white or red. That. And I want another one like this, and with the color of the text. Let's make the little Bambi gray and the text Ooh, sorry guys. Sorry. One thing that I like to do when these compositions is I grab in the trace paper effect. I grab all my text and I flip it, and I do it like this, and I lower the fill a lot, and it creates like that ghosting effect, and it feels like the paper has been written, like it has been printed on the front side and the back side, you know. You do it also on the little goat. You know, and it gives it that like more details, right? But I don't think it's working that good, so let's take it out. It works good. Yeah. I wanted to try one more thing. Let's duplicate this content. And I want to see what happens. But I need to do it here. Oh, in this one. Let's see what happens. I wanted to try another composition, just a quick one. That's better than the other one. Now let's do a final one, just black and white, just to flex, you know, just to make it the classic black and white. It's like just to show the structure, like it works, it sounds. That, and let's use the other one. Well, that was it, guys. Yo, it ended up looking really good. Oh, we had the ones with the pictures also, but we're really cooked. We're really cooked for real. There it is. So typographic arrangement piece, we did it. Looks amazing. Oh, I'm cooked, bro. It took a bit for me, eh? Oh, but it's cool. I love it. Do you like it, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Also, guys, want to see what you guys update to the Dojo. Let's see if anyone uploaded anything what I was streaming. Okay, we had this one. This one, I think it's amazing. I love this. This is a nice rave poster, you know. Nice rave poster, like deep fried. Just a pinch of salt, you know. Banger, bro. This is such a good poster. This is not so good. You can see what I mean about the differences in the negative space. Like you need to take out the thinner font is not working as well, but you can play around with it. I like it, but there is something here. But this one it's far better in terms also of the gesture. It's much more boom, like fuck you to whoever is watching it. Love it. Like fuck you. Okay, my guys, that was kind of it. This was a pretty fun stream. I really glad with the result. So this is it, guys. Like previous assignment was one of the longer ones. Right now we're gonna do some chiller assignment, but try to do the most you can to keep the pace, because we're gonna be building up to the final assignment, which is gonna be the premium vinyl cover release, which that one is gonna be a really cool one if you manage to make it right. You know, that's something that you could put in your portfolio. You know, a super good piece. You know, I'm gonna have you make a playlist that you need to post, or make it however you want. You can post it on Pinterest and Spotify, and make the album cover for it. And after that, we're gonna make a scene with everything that we did in the year, you know. So yeah, those are gonna be really fun projects. And then we're gonna take a vacation, and then we start all over again. You know what I mean? Next year. So that's it, my guys. You know what I mean? Super glad you liked it. Thank you for stopping by, shining through. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Stop by the Dojo, get to meet the crew, and yeah, see you in the next one. You know what I mean, my guys? Okay. So that's it. Bye-bye. See you on the path.